because reading about cultures, opinions, or ideologies that challenge your beliefs in different perspectives broadens your understanding and makes you more open-minded. This habit helps prevent narrow thinking and encourages you to ask more complex questions like, what can I learn from this perspective? How does it compare to my current beliefs? This not only sharpens your thinking, but fosters empathy and adaptability. Keep a thought journal. Maintaining a thought journal is an excellent way to practice critical thinking daily. Use it to jot down thoughts, ideas, and reflections on what you learned that day. Did you encounter a problem? Write it down, break it apart, and document the steps you took or plan to take to solve it. Did you read or hear something that sparked your interest or doubt? Record it and note your thoughts on it. By regularly reflecting on your thinking process, you can spot patterns, identify biases, and continually improve your reasoning. Ask more questions. Make it a habit to ask questions throughout your day. Whether it's at work, in conversations, or while watching the news, questioning keeps your mind active and engaged. Simple prompts like, what are the possible consequences of this? Or, is there another explanation? Can open up new pathways of thought. The more you practice questioning, the more natural it becomes to approach problems with a curious and critical mindset. Evaluate your own beliefs. Critical thinking habits aren't just about examining external information, they're also about turning that lens inward. Periodically evaluate your own beliefs and opinions. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? What evidence supports it? And could there be any bias influencing my view? This practice can be challenging because it requires humility and a willingness to be proven wrong. However, it's essential for developing a balanced and open-minded approach to thinking. Engage in discussions and debates. Participating in discussions and debates is another powerful way to develop critical thinking habits. When you talk with others, especially those who challenge your ideas, you're forced to clarify your thoughts, defend your positions, and sometimes reconsider them. This process helps you see your strengths and areas for improvement. It's not about winning an argument, but about learning and refining your thinking. Make it a habit to engage in discussions with friends, colleagues, or even online communities that value constructive debate. Practice problem solving regularly. Make problem solving a daily habit by tackling small challenges, whether at work, in personal projects, or in everyday situations. Break down the problems into smaller parts, brainstorm possible solutions, and weigh the pros and cons of each. Practicing this method regularly builds a habit of approaching challenges with a structured, thoughtful process that becomes instinctive over time. Apply the why technique. One of the simplest yet most effective habits for critical thinking is to ask why, not just once, but multiple times. This technique helps you go beyond surface-level thinking to understand the deeper reasons behind actions, decisions, or beliefs. For example, if a project at work fails, instead of saying, it didn't work because the deadline was tight, ask, why was the deadline tight? Why wasn't there more time planned? Why did we stick to that timeline despite the challenges? This series of questions often uncovers the root cause of an issue, making it easier to avoid similar problems in the future. Create a routine for self-reflection. End your day by reflecting on what went well and what could be improved. Ask yourself, what decisions did I make today and how did they turn out? Did I approach them thoughtfully? What could I have done differently? This practice helps you build a habit of learning from your experiences and continuously sharpening your thinking skills. Be open to feedback. Critical thinkers value feedback because it offers another perspective that they might not have considered. Make it a habit to seek feedback from others on your ideas and approaches. When you receive it, listen carefully and ask clarifying questions to understand their viewpoint. only helps you refine your thinking, but also shows that you're willing to learn and grow. Turn failures into lessons. Instead of seeing failures as setbacks, use them as opportunities to develop critical thinking habits. When something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What would I do differently next time? By treating failures as lessons, you build resilience and improve your decision-making abilities for the future. Develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset means believing that your abilities and intelligence can improve with effort and practice. This mindset is essential for developing critical thinking habits because it encourages you to see challenges as opportunities to learn. When faced with difficulties, instead of thinking, I can't do this, ask, what can I do to improve? What new strategy can I try? This approach turns challenges into chances to practice and enhance your critical thinking. Developing critical thinking habits takes time and dedication, but the benefits are worth it. These habits help you navigate life with confidence, make better decisions, and approach problems with clarity and creativity. By embedding these practices into your daily routine, you can transform the way you think, work, and live. With consistent effort, critical thinking can become not just a skill you use, but a way of seeing the world that brings continuous growth and success. Chapter 6. Identifying and challenging assumptions. Assumptions are like invisible threads woven into the fabric of our thoughts, influencing how we see the world and make decisions. While assumptions can sometimes be useful for quick decision-making, they often lead to misunderstandings, poor choices, and missed opportunities. Learning to identify and challenge your assumptions is a crucial part of developing